Happy Thursday, Ocoee region. We are here today with Robin Nation of Women at the Well. And we're going to talk about Women at the Well and the positive work that they do here in our community. We just heard a great testimony from Robin and how all of this brought her to this point, how her journey, her walk with God brought her to the point where she was working in the jail and looked around and said, is anyone praying with these women? Is anyone telling them about Jesus?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they said yes.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming in, playing the guitar, sharing the word, and you went, phew.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to start anything. I can just pray.
Right. Yes, that's where I was at. Mm-hmm.
But God said,
I'm not finished with you or this part of your story.
so tell us about it.
All right. Well, from that point, the Lord just continued to work with me and to teach me more, and draw me more into a deeper, closer walk with Him. And so I began to go down to Precept Ministries in Chattanooga and study the Bible there, got a deeper walk with Him in the Word. And our church was doing Experiencing God. Now, this was a few years later after that incident where I went, because I was no longer working at the jail at this time. Okay, so we were doing Experiencing God at our church. And during that study, it talks about how a lot of times we want to do something and say, God, come on, join me. Mm-hmm. But that's not the way it is.
Nope.
We need to look at what's going on around us and say, okay, God, where do you want me to go join you? Mm-hmm. And so God just reminded me through that of the jail ministry. So I said, well, I can't do that. And I didn't even really know what jail ministry was. He just reminded me of being with the women, at the jail and sharing with them. And so I said, well, I don't have any avenue in that way, Lord. And me and another lady prayed, but I said, if you want me to do it this time, I'll do it. I'll walk through that door. Yes. And do you know that when you say that, I'll do it, God?
Yes.
He listens.
Yes,
He makes a way.
Yes,
There was a new sheriff's election. There was a new sheriff. And that new sheriff came and asked me to go to work for him. So I didn't even put my application in.
Wow.
And so
that's God.
That was God. I knew it was God. It was God opening the door. So immediately after I went to work, I started looking at what they were doing as far as the jail ministry went and started getting involved in that. And I was going every Wednesday night to the jail with whatever jail ministry group. He actually allowed me to be over the jail ministry and, to schedule groups and all of that. And it was just an awesome time in the Lord, when that was going on. I dropped my thing. But so I began to see different ways of worship. God was expanding my territory in ways I never dreamed of.
Yes.
I mean, I was raised, sweet little Baptist girl. Yeah. And I didn't know about a lot of the other denominations and how they worshiped. And so I loved it. And I was so eager. Everything God had for me, I wanted it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I began to pray about, because I would see these ladies would go in and they would come out. They would go in and they go out. And we started praying. And, there's nothing more powerful than prayer.
Yes.
And the enemy fights that.
Yes, he does.
He fights that worse than anything,
Yes.
So we began to pray, about that God would raise up somebody to have a home for these women to go to so they could be discipled. And so this person would say, yes, I think I can do this, and it wouldn't work out, and someone else would say this, and it wouldn't work out, and we were sending people out of state, which is fine. Some people needed to go out,
yes,
and we were doing that, able to do that, and then one day I'd gone to lunch and driving back, it was like something just fell out of the sky, hit me right in the belly, and it said, "You are the one." You're going to start the home here in McMinn County for women that you've been talking about that needs to be done. It's you. And I'd love to say that I was like Mary, Lord, have it be unto me as you have said. But I was like, no.
Yeah.
I like what I'm doing. I like my life. I've got my children. I've got my husband. I like what we're doing. But as time went on, I submitted to the call that God had called me to. And we began to go talk to churches and tell them this is what we want to do. I brought a lady that had gone through a program with me, then had come into town, living in town now.
Yes.
And so she and I would go, this is what we're wanting to do. And we were at Mount Harmony Baptist Church in Riceville on a Sunday night, I think. And I felt the power of God that night. I knew something was going to happen. There was a shift in the atmosphere,
Come on.
okay?
Yes.
So I knew it was a mighty night. We were sharing, the people were receiving it, what we wanted to do. And the pastor came up and he said, if you get some property to build that house on, we've got enough builders in this church that will build that house. And so, okay, Lord, that's good,
Yeah.
And then someone else came up and said, whatever the offering is tonight, we'll meet it. So it was like $500, and that made it be $1,000.
Okay.
So we had $1,000, a promise from the pastor,
Yes.
and people that would do the work.
Right.
That's what we had.
Just need the land.
Yeah, just needed the land. Well, a week later, someone called from that church. We've got 5 acres we want to donate to what you're doing. So come up and look at it. You might not want to do it there. Okay. So I go up and look at it. We go walking through a little pig trail up to the top of this hill with an awesome view. Mm-hmm. And she said, this is the property right here. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful property, but there was woods, there was weeds, there was, it was just no driveway up to it. So I go home that night and I'm laying in the bed and I said, Lord, now this cannot be. That's beautiful, but this cannot be what you want me to do. I want a house, a home in town with all the furnishings in it. Remember, I told you my testimony, I'm an only child in school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there was that's a lot of work, God. How is that going to happen?
Yes.
And he said, that's it. That's the place. So I said, well, okay. So before we knew it, there was bulldozers, there was things coming up, making the way up there. And over about a year time, that church did what they said they would do. They built that house, the people in there. And over about a year, the house was built. And we started taking students in about 2001.
Okay.
And then we began to expand, after that and built on. And because we had too many students for the beds that we had, and we needed a place for the classroom. And over time, God has just given us more and more property up there. We now have like 35 acres, 5 houses, and we just built a chapel. God has just been awesome. I can't tell you.
I've got to come visit.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're coming to visit.
I am
yes,
coming.
you are
I
coming
am.
to
I'm
visit.
coming to visit.
But what I'm really excited about is we've had probably about 90 ladies who have graduated. It's a 15-month program. It's very intense, very structured program. Yes. We've had around 90, but we've had hundreds that have gone through and stayed and chose not to complete the program.
Okay.
But many, many lives have been changed. And God is doing awesome things. And right now, it's an exciting time at the ministry, what God is doing. We have
Tell us about it.
Yeah, we have a student who just graduated Lee College. Yay. Her name is Katie.
Yes.
And she was told because she had some felony charges in her past that she would not be able to do all these things. But all of that has been wiped away.
Yeah.
Her record is clean. She is now in Nashville at Nashville School of Law.
Look at that.
Working at the Capitol. So, God can take something that seems to be nothing or useless or hopeless and just do great things. She's excited about what God is going to do in her life in the future. She wants to work with women that have the same kind of legal issues that she had.
Yes.
And we're able to overcome, through Jesus. But we also have 3 ladies that have just started Cleveland State Community College. One wants to be a teacher, one's going into criminal law, and one into social services. So they just started this semester. That's kind of a new phase in our program, is helping them on the latter end of their program if they want to go to college, get enrolled, and go. So
I love Women at the Well because its foundational component is a man named Jesus.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we know that if you truly want to be delivered, the only way is to get to know him. Because he can't be, I'm not bashing any of these substance abuse places, but they tend to say that once an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic, once this, once that. But once Jesus is in your life,
Right.
that blood washes you, it cleanses you, and you are a new creature.
Yes. The old is gone. The
Old
new has
is
come.
come.
Amen.
And that's why I'm an advocate for you've got to have God in this process.
Yes.
He's the deliverer, not man.
Yeah.
Not a process, not a... He is the deliverer.
Not
and the
even
healer.
the biblical studies that we do at Women at the Well, and
Yes.
we do a lot. We work
Right.
them through a lot of things. Not even that. If you take out the component of Jesus Christ out of that and you don't accept it for yourself,
Come on.
you're just wasting your time.
Yes.
You might get some good knowledge, learn some good things that'll help you down the road just a little bit.
Yes.
But for that abundant life that Jesus has for you, you've got to take it all, okay? He wants it all. He wants it every bit.
I love it. I love it. I know it takes a lot of money to run this program.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, it does.
And so I want to encourage everyone out there. This is a gem in our community that helps so many women, so many families, helping them, putting them back together with their families. You got to give to this. So you can go to womenatthewell.com and go there, and all that information will be there for you to give. You have up-and-coming fundraisers coming up. Let's go to that slide and talk about that real quick. I want to get this in before we run out of time.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have Living Beyond Limits dinner in honor of Drug Awareness Month, and that's September 19th. So that's coming up.
Steve Austin will be our special guest there.
Okay.
Sharing about, he has a study that he does, Getting Your Life on Target.
Okay.
Geared toward drug addiction, and so he will be there sharing about that. If you work with people who have addiction,
Yes, that would be good to go
This is
to.
a great to go. It's a great resource. That's why we're doing it, because we want people to get informed.
Okay. And the next one is, there we go, Faith Ride.
Yes, yes. Now, get on your motorcycle and get there. But I'm gonna tell you, I drive a Jeep. I notice you drive a Jeep too.
Yes.
But I drive a Jeep, and I'm inviting my Jeep friends, to be a part of this as well. So get on your motorcycle or your Jeep. Now, Jeep friends, I know there's a bunch of y'all out there. It's
a whole bunch of us.
Come on now and come down and join us for this.
Okay. And that's actually,
Coming
when
up.
is that one? September?
That is the 28th,
Eighth.
September
Okay.
28th, and kickstands up at 10 o'clock at Hillcrest Church in Etowah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so now, I cannot move on without doing this, because you have it over there. I have this book. I bought this book. I think I came to a book signing of yours at the store. And tell us about this book.
Well, this shares my testimony as well as how Women at the Well got started.
Yes.
And so if you're interested in knowing, the faith walk that the Lord has taken me on with this, you can get this book, and the proceeds go to Women at the Well.
Yeah.
It's $10 if you want to call us and order it. So that's what the book's about, and it tells the whole story of how Women at the Well got started, and some of our graduates' and stories as well.
Well, I can tell you, when you think of what a faith walk, you have 5 houses on 35 acres, and you are building a chapel.
Yes, and we're not done yet.
You're going to be a city on a hill, girl.
Yes. If you're looking for a city, we're available, Lord.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, before we go, we got about a minute. Robert, I just think it's so crucial for you to look in this camera. I just feel the movement of the Holy Spirit. There are souls out there that are crying out,
Yes.
that need a Savior.
Right.
And your testimony has been phenomenal, because we sometimes allow shame and guilt and all this stuff to stop us from truly seeking Him. could you just say a word to the people?
Yes. Well, I would like to say to you out there, I, from experience, know what it's like to have a loved one in addiction because I myself had a son who was in addiction. So I know what that's like. I know what it's like to not be able to get out of that, feel like you can't get out of that. There is a way out.
Yeah.
Jesus is the way out. And, you know, my husband and I just had our 37th wedding anniversary,
Yes!
which is huge, you know.
Yes!
And so, but when we got married, they said they'll never stay married, you know. But the Lord has been a part of our life. I'm so thankful for my husband. His name is Tommy, and I'm so thankful for him that he put us together in this ministry together. And I just want to say to you out there, you know, there is another way. There is another way. And our verse this year, I wanted to read that to you. You may be struggling with things in your life, but this is our verse this year in Psalms 4. It says, "In peace I will both lay down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." You know what? You can lay down and sleep tonight knowing that God is in control and that He's got this situation. Whatever it might be, God has got this situation.
Well, Robin, thank you so much, and thank you greatly for that word. You heard her. There's nothing else for me to say. It's just that everything is in His hand. Seek Him and let Him take control of your life. God bless.